Breaks down the details tonight on Nightly News.
All right, thank you, Lester.
All right.
Appreciate it. Sabila.
Thanks, Chuck. 50 years ago today, the vicious murder of a little Elizabeth, New Jersey girl forever stole the innocence of a community. The case of Wendy Sue Wolin is still unsolved, but a social media campaign by a police captain has breathed new life into the case, and the I-Team has uncovered a stunning possible link to another child's murder. Investigative reporter Sarah Wallace joins us now with this extraordinary I-Team cold case exclusive.
And Sabila, you know, all these years later, the pain is still so fresh and the mystery only deepens. The twists and turns we have found are so surreal, you would think this were a TV script. Two little girls who once lived within blocks of each other, both murdered a year apart in the mid-1960s. Two unsolved cases and so many unexplained coincidences.
Here's Wendy's little purse. Here's little Wendy's hat. From Wendy, I love you, Mom and Dad. Wendy was a brownie. That's how little she was.
There is anguish and heartbreak in this box of keepsakes.
That's Wendy, how I remembered her.
Jody Wolin's little sister Wendy was just 7 years old when she was stabbed in broad daylight 50 years ago today.
They're her sneakers. And here's Wendy in school, her last picture.
Wendy had been waiting for her mother outside the family's upscale apartment building in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The killer never caught in spite of this detailed composite sketch and one of the biggest manhunts ever in that state.
Of course, we hurt. We hurt deeply, but we didn't think that it would traumatize the whole city.
Jody, who later moved to Florida, never knew how Wendy's life and death continued to touch so many until she heard about a social media campaign launched in recent years by Elizabeth Police Captain Todd Mooney.
She gets stabbed, but she doesn't know she's stabbed.
Mooney grew up in this neighborhood and remembers everything.
I was the same age as Wendy. Saw the blood. It's just something that always stuck with me.
He decided to unofficially reopen the unsolved case and posted this on Facebook.
Someone out there knows who did it.
Hundreds of people shared their memories of the moment their lives changed forever. Elizabeth resident Grace Fusco is one who connected.
It impacted my childhood throughout my whole life. I thought about this murder for my whole life.
Mooney also posted that composite sketch of Wendy's suspected killer, hoping it might spark a new lead.
As it turns out, that composite did jog someone's memory. But incredibly, it wasn't about Wendy. It involved another murder of a little girl the year before here in neighboring Highland Park.
All I could do was scream. I just kept screaming, it's him, it's him, it's him.
Beth Maroney is absolutely certain she saw Wendy's killer on her block the same day her friend, 11-year-old May Rubenstein, was savagely stabbed more than a dozen times inside the family home in February of 1965. An unknown intruder also killed May's mother.
I believe that if you put him in a lineup today, I could still pick him out.
But there would be no lineup. Maroney says no one ever did a composite. And then that Facebook post.
I saw the face, and I knew right away it was the same man.
There are more bizarre twists. When the Rubensteins were murdered, Wendy and Jody lived a block away in Highland Park in their grandparents' house. Their last name was Rubenstein, no relation to May's family.
We moved 11 days after May Rubenstein was hit.
Your mom up and moved you? No reason.
No reason.
She just moved you to Elizabeth.
Right.
And you never heard about May Rubenstein and her mother?
Never. Never.
Not until Facebook?
Not until Facebook.
Could the Rubensteins have been killed in a horrific case of mistaken identity? Jody wonders now, saying her grandfather did owe money to the mob back then.
What about these coincidences?
They could have been looking for me.
Or Wendy?
Or Wendy, anybody from the family.
May Rubenstein's older brother, who lives in North Brunswick, New Jersey, believes there are just too many similarities.
Do you believe that your family was murdered in a case of mistaken identity?
Yes, I do.
It'd be a great movie or a great book if you could connect Highland Park and Elizabeth. It's an unbelievable story.
Every day, do you think about her?
Every day. How could you not? I mean, I was her sister. My job was to protect her.
50 years ago today. They want to keep the memory alive, and social media has allowed both of these families to do that. By the way, DNA on Wendy's coat is being currently tested, but the evidence is so degraded it may not yield any positive results. There was no DNA collected in the Rubenstein's case. The blood was all mopped up. Sabila.
All right, thanks so much, Sarah. And do you have a story that you'd like New York's biggest I-Team to check out? Call the News 4 I-Team tip line at 1-866-NEWS-244. All right, let's go back to Weehawken now, where we find Dave Price enjoying the beautiful weather.
It has been